I have a confession to make. Okay, look, I like the Game Show Network. No, I love the Game Show Network so much. I'm not even ashamed of it. I don't know why I was keeping it in. I'm not even ashamed of it. And I know what you're thinking. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for old people. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for old people who need a healthier outlet to vent their frustrations about the younger generation being lazy and not working for anything rather than going to a Starbucks and yelling at everybody. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for old people who like to watch younger people fail at being smart as a way to confirm their beliefs that the younger generation is dumber than theirs, even though their generation believed that wrestling was real and gave us hair in a can and pet rocks. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for old people who like to watch Family Feud to flash back to the times when their families wanted anything to do with them but don't anymore because they voiced their support for the Capitol riots. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for people with dogs who like to leave the TV on to help alleviate the doggy depression. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for underachieving nerds who think that answering along to game shows is a valuable use of their knowledge and time. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for people who have a button and buzzer fetish. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for people who went chasing waterfalls instead of sticking to the rivers and the lakes that they're used to. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for people who look at committing vehicular manslaughter as a blessing in disguise. But Curtis, the Game Show Network is for poor people who only watch because they'll never amass any kind of fortune that they witness on the programming. And yes, most of those are true, but come on people, the Game Show Network is just plain fun in multiple ways. As most people know, they show Family Feud quite a lot. And what's so wrong about that? It's like if they don't show Family Feud a dozen times a day, then they're gonna get sucked into Satan's vacuum or something because they made some sort of deal with him. Have you ever felt the sheer joy of guessing the survey's answers correctly? Have you ever felt the unbridled excitement of nailing every single number one answer on Fast Money? Have you ever lost yourself in the suave, bristly bushiness of Steve Harvey's mustache? Do you ever picture yourself getting lost in that follicular forest that probably smells of the finest of fragrances? Have you ever experienced the sweet surprise of the audience clapping on the 2 during the theme song instead of on the 1 like they always incorrectly do? Here's them. Here's what it should be. Have you ever heard of America Says? It's like Family Feud, it's pretty similar, but with less casual misogyny and you don't have to be a family. In some ways, I find it better than Family Feud, or at least just as good. Have you ever felt the ecstasy of guessing all 7 answers on the board? Have you ever fell back onto the blanket that is John Michael Higgins' weird but bizarrely calming voice and just let it take you away? Have you ever dreamed of playing Family Feud but don't really talk with your family anymore because they sent you a link to an Alex Jones broadcast in an attempt to wake you up? Well, now you can gather some of your level-headed friends and play America Says instead. And they've got other great cheesy shows too. There's Catch 21, which is like blackjack but with trivia questions. And Carlton. And really, what isn't improved by the presence of Carlton? There's Chain Reaction, which has the worst theme song ever. It's basically them just describing how the game works, but it's sung by a woman who sounds like she's trying to be seductive but has never had any social contact ever. It starts with a word, there's a G underneath. Guess the word game and you're right. The word game starts a chain. It just goes like that. It's really, really bad. But it's inspiring because you hear the theme song, you see the show, and you think to yourself, if somebody can put something that cheaply made onto television, I can too. I can do anything. And there's The Chase. Oh, that's a good one. It's regular people trying to outsmart this British trivia master who's equal parts sassy and classy and will not hesitate to Simon Cowell you. Hell, he kind of looks like Simon Cowell if Simon ate Randy and Paula, but he's great. But there's so many trivia questions and some of them are humorously worded questions and there's all these different categories because there's so many trivia questions and it's just so fun to play along to, especially when you know some of them. It's so good that this year they rebooted it and put it on ABC. Well, the Beast isn't on it, but it's so good that Disney jumped on it. And James from Jeopardy is one of the trivia masters on it, and you know how much of a nerdy savage he can be. It's just such cheesy, nerdy fun. And to those who say that it's just for old people, I argue that the Game Show Network is perfect for working class millennials like myself. There's always working class people and plenty of millennials playing these games. Is there any better feeling than watching a fellow working class millennial who normally has to work so hard for these resources win these resources by simply spending a few hours on TV having fun or being smart for a change? If you can't appreciate something like that, I truly worry for your ability to empathize. If you dismiss that and this whole network as some sort of hogwash poppycock, well, that's just because you're a stick in the mass. A stick in the ass mud. A mud in the stick ass. An ass in the muddy stick. A mass in the stud muffin. A sticky ass in the mud. A muddy ass in the stick. A muddy stick in the ass. You get what I'm saying. But you seriously don't know what you're missing. Have you ever felt the sweet surprise of turning on an old episode of Match Game and seeing a younger Betty White? Have you ever fallen asleep with it on at night and then woke up at 2 a.m. to see the guilty pleasure show that is Baggage, which was basically just a Jerry Springer dating show? I say this because it was hosted by Jerry Springer, who is now a judge. Because the Trump presidency opened up a door for every reality star to get jobs they're obviously unqualified for. Have you ever experienced the satisfying superiority complex of playing along super well when the actual contestant is sucking? Have you ever said to yourself, I would have won that money, while you're sitting alone on your couch eating sour cream and onion Pringles, all from the cozy comfort of your living room, while the contestant is standing on a hot set in front of a film crew and multiple cameras and hundreds of people in the audience and potentially millions of people across the world, all while on a time crunch? Although it is the Game Show Network, there's probably not even close to 1 million people watching. And have you ever experienced the high of this back and forth mentality of rooting for this working class person being successful at this game, but also believing that you could be doing better? And here's the kicker. I haven't watched the Game Show Network in over 2 years because I haven't had a TV provider that carries the Game Show Network. All of this is from memory. Their lineup could be completely different by now, but this is everything that I remember because I watched it so much. It got me through college. It was the perfect thing to watch while I was researching. It was a great way to stimulate my brain. It was the perfect thing to fall asleep to, in addition to SportsCenter. I don't know why I was ever ashamed to have liked the Game Show Network. I should have never been ashamed to like the Game Show Network. And I'm not. Which is why I have confessed. And I feel so much better now. And I hope that you do too. Adults who still think it's funny when they type boobs into their calculators. People who go to a 4-star restaurant and still get the chicken fingers.